Today I learned Carrie Fisher was a highly regarded script doctor, someone who does uncredited rewrites on screenplays. She did rewrites on Hook, Lethal Weapon 3, and The Wedding Singer, among many others. Today I learned in 2011, a 13-year-old Norwegian boy encountered a pack of wolves while walking back alone from school. He managed to fend them off by removing his headphones and blasting the song Overcome by Creed on full volume. Today I learned that since domestication, dogs' eyes have changed. Dogs now have eye muscles that make them more expressive and infant-like. These same muscles are absent in wolves, their closest relative. Today I learned that lower status individuals use more jargon when communicating. The behavior is described by scientists as linguistic overcompensation. Today I learned about high pointing, the act of ascending the highest point of every American state. Only 10 new people manage to climb them every year, making it more unique than climbing the Mount Everest. Today I learned that Comedy Central and broadcasters have censored 5 episodes of South Park due to fears of getting blown up. Today I learned Charles Darwin was the first person known to put wheels on an office chair. He liked being able to roll around his office so he could study different specimens more quickly. Today I learned of Eddie Goodell, the shortest player to ever play in a Major League Baseball game. Standing 3'7", Goodell made 1 plate appearance and drew a walk on 4 pitches. At age 36, he was beaten to death on his way home from a bowling alley. Today I learned that on December 7, 1941, Japan attacked many more places in the Pacific, not just Pearl Harbor, including Maui, Hong Kong, Guam, Philippine Islands, and a couple of others. Today I learned if you own a pig and live in France, it's illegal to name it Napoleon. Today I learned Edgar Allan Poe died mysteriously after having been missing for 6 days. Though still alive when he was finally found, he was wearing someone else's cheap clothes and not coherent enough to tell where he'd been. He had disappeared en route to his own wedding. Today I learned when a taser is fired, it releases tiny bits of uniquely numbered confetti that correlate to the specific weapon. It can then allow Taser International to track the sale of the specific weapon, which could lead police to the buyer. Today I learned that ferrets don't exist in the wild. They're the domesticated form of the European polecat, and America's black-footed ferret is, in fact, actually a species of polecat. Today I learned Colonel Sanders, which is the highest honorary title in the state of Kentucky of KFC fame, sold his company in 1964 for only $2 million, $17 million today. He remained as brand ambassador, but complained the company had cut costs and made an inferior product than the early days. Today I learned that the British banished the voices of the Sinn Féin from the airwaves. To get around this, news stations simply aired footage of the Sinn Féin leaders with actors dubbing their voices. Today I learned of the genetic bottleneck theory. Around 75,000 years ago, a supereruption occurred at Lake Toba in Sumatra, Indonesia. This resulted in the early human population to drop to 3,000 to 10,000 unique genetic individuals. Today I learned in 1997, the second highest rated chess player in America was a prisoner who played largely through letter correspondence. He was accused of inflating his rating by fixing matches against other inmates and briefly escaped prison after bolting when permitted to attend a chess tournament. Today I learned George Lucas shifted his interests from cars to film after he crashed his tiny yellow Auto Bianchina and had to be hospitalized for 4 months. Today I learned silver foxes were selectively bred for domestication in the 1950s in order to study evolution. As with dogs, the ears started to droop as physical manifestation of docility, and some even started vocalizing barks as like dogs. Today I learned about Sarah Nouse, who was the oldest verified American ever, dying at age 119 on December 30th, 1999. Her age was verified with the help of an 1891 U.S. Census Directory, a 1900 U.S. Census entry, a 1901 marriage certificate, and both 1910 and 1930 U.S. Census entries. All of these confirm her age. Today I learned that introverts produce more saliva than extroverts. Today I learned about Ada Lovelace, an English mathematician born in 1815, regarded as one of the first computer programmers. She was the first to write a set of instructions, notes, intended to be carried out by a machine. She was a friend of Charles Babbage and other important scientists of the time. Today I learned of Victor Vescovo, the first person to travel to the deepest points in every ocean on Earth. All of his dives used the deep-sea vehicle limiting factor, which he funded. Vescovo has also skied to both poles and climbed the highest mountains on every continent. Today I learned Typhoon-class submarines have a swimming pool and a sauna on board, along with other luxury features like a full gym and wooded panel walls. Today I learned in the 1920s, Colonel Sanders became involved in a shootout after a rival gas station owner killed an employee over a sign dispute. Sanders returned fire, wounding his rival. This had the side effect of eliminating the competition, as he was never charged. Today I learned Einstein's last paper on quantum physics, before departing from the field, argued that it's an incomplete solution to a fundamental problem, with him writing that God does not play dice. Ironically, the paper was highly influential and paved the way for decades of progress in quantum physics. Today I learned about the Darwin's frog. The males of this small Chilean frog swallow the embryos to finish the tadpole's development inside their vocal sac. The pregnant dad does not eat for around 6 weeks until the froglets move to the mouth and get out. Today I learned that Prince's Breakfast Can Wait album cover features Dave Chappelle impersonating Prince. Chappelle said he had to appreciate the way his joke was co-opted. That's a Prince judo move right there. Today I learned your fingernails and hair do not, in fact, continue to grow after you die. To grow, these must have a steady supply of glucose, which is cut off after the heart stops beating, preventing any further growth. Today I learned the eruption of the Huayna volcano in Peru in 1600 had significant effects on Earth's climate, Little Ice Age, decreasing temperatures in the northern hemisphere, causing floods, famines, and cold waves. The climate disruption caused social upheaval in many countries, such as Russia. Today I learned there is a deep-sea crab named after the metal band Metallica because its habitat contains all kinds of metals and to raise awareness to the effects of deep-sea metal mining. Today I learned that Theodore Roosevelt won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1906 for his ability to negotiate peace in the Russo-Japanese War. He was the first American to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Today I learned the year without a summer that resulted in major flood shortages across the northern hemisphere. Evidence suggests that it was caused by a volcanic eruption, which was the largest eruption in at least 1,300 years. Today I learned that some people in Japan are paid to shove passengers onto subway trains. They are called oshiya, and they make sure people don't get trapped between the train doors during rush hours. Today I learned the Japanese spider crab has the greatest leg span of any arthropod, reaching up to 3.1 meters, 12.1 feet, from claw to claw and weigh up to 19 kilograms. Today I learned the small town of Walnut Ridge in Arkansas erected a statue to commemorate the 15-minute layover the Beatles took when changing planes at their airport in 1964. Today I learned there is a recurring column in the magazine New Scientist that lists people with names that match their professions, i.e., book about polar explorations by author Daniel Snowman. Nominative determinism is the hypothesis that people tend to gravitate towards areas of work that fit their names. Today I learned that in January 2000, British boxer Julius Francis faced Mike Tyson. British newspaper The Mirror was so certain of Francis's defeat that they paid £20,000 for an advert on the soles of his shoes. Francis lost in 2 rounds, but he enjoyed the biggest payday of his career at around £350,000. Today I learned NBA legend Karl Malone had a child with a 13-year-old girl while he was a 20-year-old college sophomore. Today I learned that Dan Aykroyd sang in the 1985 charity single We Are the World song alongside giants of the 1980s U.S. music industry and ended up there in his own words, totally by accident. Today I learned that Ricky Gervais was the singer of an angsty new wave group in the early 80s. They released 2 singles, but accepting success in the Philippines didn't quite take off, so it disbanded. Today I learned the tuatara of New Zealand is the last surviving species of a once widespread order of reptiles that separated 250 million years ago. It retains a variety of primitive features not found in other reptiles. They live over 100 years and operate with body temperatures of 42 Fahrenheit, 5.2 Celsius. Today I learned the first virtual headset was patented in 1960 by inventor Morton Heilig. The head-mounted display had 2 screens and was known as the Telesphere Mask. This device featured stereoscopic 3D TV, wide vision, and true stereo sound. La 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 la. Oh, it looks like someone's getting sleepy. Here, let me finish tucking you in. There you go. Sweet dreams.